Hey everyone, welcome back to Usof Reacts, your go-to place for all things movies and entertainment. Today, we're diving deep into the underwater world of Atlantis with our review of Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom. I'm Lois, and I can't wait to share my thoughts on this highly anticipated sequel. So, let's get started. Before we plunge into the sequel, let's take a quick trip down memory lane and recap the first Aquaman movie. Released in 2018, Aquaman introduced us to Arthur Curry, played by Jason Momoa, who discovers his true heritage as the heir to the underwater kingdom of Atlantis. With stunning visuals, epic battles, and a charismatic lead, the first film set the stage for an even bigger adventure in Aquaman 2. Now, let's talk about Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom. Directed by James Wan, the sequel promises to be a thrilling ride. The story picks up with Arthur Curry fully embracing his role as King of Atlantis. But new threats loom on the horizon, including the return of Black Manta, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who is more determined than ever to take down Aquaman. Alongside him, we have the enigmatic ocean master, Arthur's half-brother Orm, portrayed by Patrick Wilson, who has a pivotal role to play in this sequel. One of the exciting aspects of Aquaman 2 is the introduction of new characters and the return of familiar faces. Amber Heard is back as Mera, the fierce and loyal warrior, and Willem Dafoe reprises his role as Vulko, Arthur's mentor. Newcomers include Pilu Asp in a mysterious role and India Moore as the powerful character Karshan. The dynamic between these characters adds depth and intrigue to the story. James Wan is known for his stunning visuals, and Aquaman 2 is no exception. The underwater scenes are more breathtaking than ever, with cutting-edge special effects that bring the underwater kingdom to life. From epic battles to serene underwater landscapes, every frame is a visual treat. The blend of practical effects and CGI makes for a truly immersive experience. Beyond the action and visuals, Aquaman 2 delves into deeper themes. The film explores Arthur's growth as a leader, his struggles with his dual heritage, and the responsibility that comes with his crown. The relationship dynamics, especially between Arthur and Orm, add layers of emotional depth to the story. The narrative balances spectacle with heart, making it a well-rounded cinematic experience. The early reviews for Aquaman 2 are in, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Critics have praised the film for its ambitious storytelling, stunning visuals, and strong performances. Fans of the first movie will find plenty to love, and newcomers to the franchise will be captivated by the underwater world of Atlantis. Black Manta seeks revenge on Aquaman for his father's death. Wielding the Black Trident's power, he becomes a formidable foe. To defend Atlantis, Aquaman forges an alliance with his imprisoned brother. They must protect the kingdom. Having failed to defeat Aquaman the first time, Black Manta, still driven by the need to avenge his father's death, will stop at nothing to take Aquaman down once and for all. This time Black Manta is more formidable than ever before, wielding the power of the mythic Black Trident, which unleashes an ancient and malevolent force. To defeat him, Aquaman will turn to his imprisoned brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis, to forge an unlikely alliance. Together, they must set aside their differences in order to protect their kingdom and save Aquaman's family and the world from irreversible destruction. Arthur Curry has married Mera and had a son, Arthur JRB, and splits his life between land, where he lives in the lighthouse of his father Tom, and fights crime, and the sea, ruling as the king of Atlantis. However, Arthur finds the diplomatic and bureaucratic royal duties boring, and is always entering conflict with the Atlantean Council, who are particularly opposed to Arthur's intent of making Atlantis contact the surface world. Meanwhile, David Kane continues to seek revenge against Aquaman, and follows the research of marine scientist Stephen Shin to look for Atlantean artifacts. Once in an Atlantean ruin underneath the Arctic ice, David finds a Black Trident that leads him to be possessed by its creator, who promises that if David helps his Atlantean tribe recover, David will receive the power he desires to destroy Aquaman, his family, and his kingdom. 5 months later, global warming has worsened, with the surface's climate experiencing extreme weather, and the ocean acidification causing diseases in the sea population. Atlantis is attacked by Black Manta, who takes the kingdom's orichalcum reserves to power his ancient Atlantean machines restored by Shin, injures Mera and proves himself capable of fighting Arthur in equal terms. Reconvening with his mother Atlanta and Mera's father Nereus, Arthur discovers that David is behind the rising temperatures, as he went after all the hidden reserves of orichalcum, which emits high quantities of greenhouse gases and nearly caused a planetary extinction when used by an ancient Atlantean kingdom. Arthur decides that the way to find out where the Black Manta is hidden is going after one of David's allies, Arthur's half-brother Orm Marius, held captive by the Fisherman Kingdom for having killed their king. Arthur breaks out Orm from prison, and after a meeting with crime lord Kingfish discovers David is based on a South Pacific volcanic island. Arriving in the island, Arthur and Orm discover monstrous fauna and flora that had been mutated by an orichalcum furnace where Black Manta's base is located. Before Atlantis attacks and destroys the island, Orm gets hold of the Black Trident and has visions revealing its creator was Kordax, the brother of Atlantis founder King Atlan and ruler of the lost kingdom of Nikris, that wound up sealed in an icy prison after losing a war with Atlantis. Given the seal was created by Atlan with blood magic, the blood of any of his descendants could release Kordax, leading David to attack Tom Curry's lighthouse and kidnap Arthur JRB. Before heading to Nekris's hiding place, that the Atlanteans discover with Shin's help to be underneath the ice of Antarctica. In Nikris, Arthur attacks David to stop him from injuring Arthur JRB. And David almost defeats Arthur before Orm arrives and disarms him of the Black Trident. As Orm gets hold of the trident, the spirit of Kordax leaves David for Orm, who proceeds to fight Arthur and use his blood to thaw the ice imprisoning the body of Kordax. With his half-brother freed, Arthur throws the Black Trident at Kordax, who catches it in midair, before throwing his own trident to destroy the Black Trident and fatally impale Kordax. With Kordax's magic vanishing, Nikris starts to collapse, and as David hangs from a fissure, he refuses Arthur's help and throws himself down the cliff to his death. The Atlanteans and Shin escape to safety, and Arthur and Mera decide to let Orm go and tell the rest of Atlantis that he died, on the condition he remains hidden. Arthur decides that uniting land and sea is necessary to combat climate change, and reveals Atlantis to the human world through an announcement to the United Nations, with the intent of making the underwater kingdom a member state. If this was made in the early days of superhero franchises, say when Iron Man first came out, then it might have stood out. Unfortunately, Aquaman 2 has to bear the burden of having to follow through the recent flops, and/or mixed bag of superhero output from both Maku or DCEU. James Wan doesn't offer anything new under sky. A baddie who wants revenge saw that in the Marvels. Sibling tension? Saw that in Thor. Supposedly all-powerful, final baddie who then gets thumped easily. Saw that in Black Adam. By now, there's such an air of familiarity in superhero fairs that I think it's gonna take a complete shift in narrative or plots to offer audiences a fresh take. Jason Momoa's charisma and screen presence is basically the backbone of the movie, and it pretty much carries it through. His timing, especially humor, is spot on, while his Aquaman is also convincingly authoritative. Yahya Abdul-Mateen is somewhat wasted here. A capable actor, but he's reduced to portraying a stock baddie out for revenge, while his right arm, Stingray, is as one-dimensional as they come. Plus, it doesn't help that the actress who plays Stingray is kinda cardboard too. I find Randall Park, while dependable, nevertheless still plays Randall Park from other movies or TV shows. You've seen his character in Blockbuster, or in the Maku outfits. Don't have any complaints on Amber Heard or Nicole Kidman, but they don't have enough screen time to make much of an impact. But I have to admit, I did wonder, what if Nicole played Capt? Marvel instead of Brie, I think I would have bought into it a lot faster. Kidman's talent is such that, even small screen time doesn't stop her from exuding enough screen presence to make her contribution count. Which leaves me with Patrick Wilson. His portrayal of Orm is brilliant, suffusing the character with the tension his inner conflicts have with his motives. Do I live in hate, or do I forgive? The fact that Wilson achieves this without any acting histrionics but leaves his angst just right above the surface, just enough for us to feel it, is probably the standout feature of Aquaman and Lost Kingdom. I think he kinda redeemed himself from the poor and dumb moonfall. I hope James Gunn will be able to create not only a new trajectory for DCEU, but an entire different take on superhero movies. While Aquaman 2 is entertaining enough to fill your 2 hours, it's also a by-the-numbers effort. Not something you and I will live to remember. So, that's our deep dive into Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom. Whether you're a long-time fan of the DC universe or just looking for an exciting adventure, this movie is a must-watch. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited about in Aquaman 2. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie reviews and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.